Well, I'm going to tell you why some of you Russians got it better in Russia than you do have in the United States. I noticed like different aspects to everything's got a plus and a minus. I know there's a lot of police corruption over in Russia. I know that, but the problem is, the United States, it's like you got this financial corruption. You got a financial incentive to freaking screw people over. That's what it is. You know, you can insult the president all you want, but if there's a financial angle to screw you over, you don't have to insult anybody. You don't have to do anything wrong. If there's a way they can screw you over financially, they'll do it. That's exactly what it is. Now, I'm going to talk about here is they got a new proposed drunk law, and I'm not talking about like this girl here in the UK who's like falling down drunk. I'm talking about you had one drink, and they're going to say that's illegal for driving. And I came across this in the Marine Corps, and I was like, it actually pissed me off so much. It wasn't like I was trying to comply with the law, but I said to myself, I'm not going to go to any on-base clubs, support any bars, or buy any alcohol, period, because it helps the taxes, you know, because it's heavily taxed. I'm like, good. We'll stop freaking, everybody stop drinking, and the revenue will dry up. That'll be great, but I guess that doesn't happen like that. Then they would, they'll be taxing air, you know. But anyway, Department of Homeland Security in the United States, which is obviously the National Police Force, the Gestapo, I don't care which, you know, that's what it is. And by the way, I'm going to take a little commercial break here. This video is brought to you by YouTube, but even though YouTube is getting more draconian with stuff, I'm going to tell you right now, they're way better than Facebook. I can't stand Mark Zuckerberg. And I can also tell you, there's probably not going to be any ads on this video or in this whole channel anyway, this American Russian Survival channel, because I don't have enough subs and I don't have enough hours of viewing to monetize it anymore, period, which wasn't making much anyway. But anyway, I'm kind of put this out as, you know, my good heart, you know, because I want the Americans and the Russians to get along good, and, you know, we should be the leaders in the world. That's the way I look at it. But this is what's going on. Now, you know, I know that there's a lot of drinking in Russia. There's so much drinking in Russia that males don't even live, I think they live at an average age of 50-something a lot of times. They drink so much, man. It's not good. I mean, there's probably a lot of stuff you could probably do to fix that. Milk thistle, whatever. Take that herb. Maybe keep drinking, but take a lot of milk thistle to protect your liver. And, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm not into seeing Russians dying young and all this garbage. But DHS, you see, this is what goes on. When you get a government agency, they find ways to self-perpetuate, you know, what they're about. So they're trying to convince states to lower the legal drink limit to 0.05 or one drink. Now in the Marine Corps, they had it, anything that shows up, you're busted. That's why I really got pissed off at him. I was like, get out of here. I was like, forget it, man. It was beyond even the most draconian civilian laws. But they want to have it this way because they are arguing that even one drink makes you twice as likely to crash. But, you know, if you start thinking about that, you know, what about prescription meds? Anything. I mean, suppose you don't feel that good. Suppose you got a flu. Suppose it's after 10 o'clock at night and you're driving, you're a little bit tired. Not real tired, but, I mean, wouldn't that make you more likely to crash? What about if you're just driving at night or driving in the rain? Wouldn't that make you twice as likely to crash? I mean, you know, these guys are freaking, you know, it's like there's a lot of ways you could be twice as likely to crash. In the way they're throwing out prescription drugs left and right in the United States, especially these antidepressant garbage things that the drug dealer sites are throwing out to people left and right. Oh, there's a lot of stuff that could be impairing your driving, you know. But, you know, it's not measured. It's not measured. It's not part of the game. They're looking at alcohol only. You know, my thing is, you know, I stopped drinking, period, for this reason. I just got so pissed off, I says, I'm not going to give you 25 cents in tax money for drinking. But the committee recommended that all state governments enact laws for alcohol-impaired drivers for like one drink. And they're going to set up all these checkpoints. And this is going to, like, this, to me, it's a way to kill freedom in the United States. Now, people in America, they like to drink too. I mean, I was into it when I was new, when I was 18 till like the late 20s. After a while, I says, it seemed to be wasting too much time. So that was one thing that kind of got me away from it. But then when they came up with all these BS things of drinking and driving, I says, man, that thing's a whole racket. It never was like that when I was, back in the 70s and 60s and stuff. If you were driving, you had to be weaving all over the road or something. And even then, the cop wouldn't even they wouldn't slam you like with the laws the way they got today. You wouldn't even lose your license, for crying out loud, the way they had it before. So we used to drink and drive at the same time, It was no big deal. I never got no accidents or nothing. But, the direction where we're going at is like the more rules they make, the more the entities in government make, and the more excuse they have for their existence. And it's an easy job. It's an easy job busting people that just have a drink. They're not criminals, you know what I mean? It's always real easy to bust somebody that really isn't trying to do anything wrong. It's real easy to do that. And that's the kind of stuff law enforcement loves because it pads them, And of course, the real criminals are, the real criminals, and you can see like in Detroit and stuff like that, loaded with criminals in Patterson, New Jersey and stuff. That's the best thing that gives the justification for the law enforcement in the United States in the first place. And the law enforcement, I want to thank the real criminals because there wouldn't be half the law enforcement out here if it wasn't for real criminals. But when they get them in that job, you know what they do? It's like they look for anything. No cell phones on date night. I mean, that could be another rule. I don't know. That's what they do. And you see, in Russia, I don't think they got the kind of manpower to even bother with this stuff. It's like, I mean, I don't know what, cops could be, I know cops are corrupt in Russia, I know they are. But the thing is, it's like, there isn't I don't think there's as much manpower or technology to be watching over the citizens the way it is in the United States. That's the problem. Like USA's got more people in prison than Russia per capita or anywhere else in the world. It's ridiculous because it's money. They're making money. They use that freaking thing as slave labor. That's what's going on. Now, pretty soon, the only way you're going to have freaking any kind of freedom is to be out there on a sailboat on the ocean or a lake where, nobody's going to be out there freaking watching you. But who knows? Maybe they'll have a satellite that watch you that way. And, maybe they'll be telling you don't eat watermelon in the public. This is the kind of garbage. The rules they got today are so stupid. Nobody would have ever believed they would be rules today. The kind of garbage they got going on? One drink. People used to, drink one drink an hour, and they thought that was good enough so they can drive. One drink an hour. So they'd stay at the bar for 7 hours. They have 7 drinks. I'm good to go. I'm going now. And, maybe they would be a little impaired. Just be a little more careful, But, the deal is, I guess it's really attitude, too. That's the other thing. But this has big implications. But you know what it's going to do? The big thing it's going to really do is draw in a lot more money to the government. Because, first off, you get a DUI now for one drink, you're going to have to hire an attorney. You're going to pay big freaking fat fees. You're going to be going to some class that's sponsored by the government. And also, there's always the district attorney, prosecutor, whatever the hell it is, looking for a feather in his cap that's trying to slam as many people as possible because that's how they get promotions, right? And of course, the judge might be having the attitude, well, I gotta make sure the community is safe, so I gotta show I'm tough on freaking DUIs, even though somebody had one drink. This is asinine law. It's actually this whole thing's a racket. And, in Russia, I know they got a lot more accidents in Russia, and maybe because a lot of people drive a lot more drunk, But, if you're Russian and you come over here, forget about it, man. This is asinine. You'd have less freedoms in a lot of ways with this garbage. Unless You live on an Indian reservation or something. I don't know. Maybe they got their better rules. But make no mistake, lowering the limit to one drink has far-reaching consequences for everybody. It's screwing us all over, man. And, you know, this is my attitude. You know, what this guy's saying right down here, that's what I say to it. But, you know, I guess the best way to say F you to these guys is don't buy any alcohol. Or maybe buy your alcohol from your local moonshiner who doesn't pay the damn government, okay? Maybe that would be the way to do it. If you've got a drink, go get the stuff that's, you know, home brewed, you know? Because that's the thing that pisses me off about this alcohol stuff. You know, they tax the hell out of it, right? Which to me shouldn't be that way. They call it a sin tax, but they encourage it a lot of ways too. They do encourage it, you know, but they love the tax money coming in. And it's almost like, you know, they made gambling legal with the government, with the lottery, you know. But, you know, if somebody else does gambling, it's illegal, it's this, it's that, promotion of gambling or whatever. But, you know, the deal is when people are, you know, going drinking and stuff, you know, they want them to do this, but then even if they have a little bit, they're going to slam them. I mean, I don't think this is just going to be limited to driving. It could be anything. I mean, you could be walking down the street. And there's people on skateboards. They got them drunk for driving riding a skateboard, riding a bike, not a motorcycle, of course, or you know, bicycle. I remember somebody in the Marine Corps that got busted for that. DUI on a bicycle. I was like, Jesus, I didn't even know that rule existed. It wasn't me. But I thought, you know, isn't that kind of like walking? You know, I mean, maybe you're not, I mean, as long as you're not racing, I mean, just going kind of slow. What's the big deal? I mean, if you could ride the bicycle and stay upright without, you know, weaving all over the place, you can't be that damn drunk. But, you know, they nailed somebody for it. But, you know, this is why the more money and the more technology the United States has, the less freedoms you have. I almost welcome going back to an earlier time. I really do. And, you know, one thing I do like about technology is the age of communications with YouTube. Now, maybe this is not a very constructive video where I'm showing you how to do something, but I think a lot of people aren't aware of what's coming up. In this Department of Homeland Security, you see, this is just one thing. These people try to justify their existence, you know? It's almost like what cops do. You know, at the end of the month, they got to find something to put down because what did you do this month? Oh, you got to find something. So at the end of the month, they go nail people for this, that, and the other. They tell you it's not there, but there is. They got to justify, you know, what they did on a job over the last month. You know, so they got to find something. You know, so it's an unwritten rule. But that's kind of like how it is with everything. Now, this Department of Homeland Security, they're not going to limit themselves with this. It's going to be more. And you know what they'll say the solution is? Oh, driverless cars. And then you know what's going to happen then? Government's going to spy on you, you know, everywhere you go, and you're going to limit to where the hell you go. That's why in Russia, I don't think it's so great. You know, I'm not saying that, but I don't think USA is so great. But there's aspects to Russia, you know, in other words, if you don't have the money and the technology and the manpower to enforce a lot of stuff, like I know, for instance, I'm on YouTube. I know most Russians don't have internet. They don't even drive cars. You know, they don't even drive cars. So I mean, they don't even know what the hell and most people in Russia don't even speak English. But the deal is, you know, if I was reaching them, I was really reaching them, you know, that would also mean that their government could reach them. And see, that's the one thing in where they're a little more protected than us. You see? They don't have as much resources and communication, and they're not all online, they're not all freaking guys. They don't have all cell phones, they're not all being tracked everywhere like they are in the United States. But when we make a new agency like the Department of Homeland Security, this is just one thing. Yeah, did you ever think when they made this, you know, this agency and they're coming up with this bull crap that they're going to start freaking saying, Oh, one drink and you're drunk, and we're gonna slam you for it. You know, and why is a federal agency trying to push states to do this? And how are they doing it? Are they doing it through money? See what I mean? They're pushing the states to freaking enact these laws, but how are they doing it? How are they doing it? Is there something where there's an agreement that, um, they're going to withhold some kind of federal funds? I mean, the DHS doesn't supposedly have any kind of clout like that, but I mean, maybe somebody else does. But that's usually how they do these type of things. In other words, the DHS is forcing the states to make laws, or they're trying to. It's freaking asinine, Department of Homeland Security. This is why I put out on my other channel about America going broke, basically. It says Trump's going to make America great, drain the swamp, right? Swamp's draining because of the U.S. hit the debt limit. It's I don't know when it's going to exactly hit, but when it hits, it hits. That's going to stop the swamp because the swamp ain't getting no money. But, the debt's probably going to give us a lot more freedoms here in this country, though, when that happens. And these people in the DHS, they can go get themselves a plot of land and go till the soil and grow tomatoes to survive and get a real job instead of freaking playing around with games like this. And I guarantee you, these people that were DHS employees, if they're out on the street, they'd be looking into moonshine, how to make moonshine so they can make some money and survive. They'd be seeing the other side of it. But that's, like I said, the problem we got in the United States is so much funds available, so much technology available, that, and there's also this profit incentive. In other words, they put people in prison in the United States because it's a free slave labor. You can't have slavery in the United States, but if you're in prison for a crime, like maybe use your cell phone on date night or something, or whatever the hell it is, or some bullshit crime they make up, then they can force labor on you. And then that's legal. That's why there's a gazillion people incarcerated per capita in the United States. I don't think the United States is that free, man. And this is just another example of freaking ridiculous garbage. I mean, I agree, you shouldn't drink too much. It's not good for your health. But the thing is, it's your body. Do what the hell you want, I mean, maybe you shouldn't go to McDonald's every day. Maybe you like McDonald's and it's going to kill you with cholesterol and your heart's going to stop or something. I don't know, fine. But that's you. You want to do that? Fine. That's up to you, man. That's up to you. So, DHS has, I don't know. But yeah, I guess the way to really stop this garbage is to only buy alcohol from, moonshiners. And don't buy any alcohol that's, pays government tax. Maybe that's the only way you could do it, if you must have alcohol. Now, me, I say the hell with alcohol completely. But you guys over there in Russia, I could tell you right now, not that most people in Russia aren't hearing me at all. I know that. You guys got it. There's certain aspects to what you got is better. Because these big corporate capitalistic assholes over here are making laws to screw over the average citizen so they can get more wealth. See, that's not what capitalism is about. Capitalism is about, like, building stuff with hammers and nails, metalworking, farming, doing, cutting down trees and making a log cabin. That's real capitalism. These big monopoly capitalists, those guys, they like the rigged system, and they use the government in conjunction with the government to screw us over. But this is another aspect of how, and you could see what would happen too with this DHS. They'd have, counseling funded by the government for people that had a DUI. And maybe they'd have some kind of prescription meds for people that had DUIs. I don't know. Maybe that'd be another thing. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know. In other words, more people they could freaking hire. And it's a racket, man. They love it. They love it. They love it. These people don't do nothing, man. DHS doesn't do a damn thing. They're worthless. As a matter of fact, you know, even a lot of cops, I mean, they don't do that much. They're going at, I don't know what the hell they do. I mean, most of the bad crimes, they don't go after that shit. They go after the people that are basically law-abiding citizens that break the most stupid rule there is that didn't exist 50 years ago, you know? That's what they go after. That kind of shit. That's what goes on today. It's all about job justification. And that's what DHS is doing. So, the next thing, I don't know, maybe they'll say, where weed is legal in your state or something, they'll go after people for having any trace amount of weed or something while driving. You know, it's asinine. I mean, these guys are screwed up beyond belief. And Mark Zuckerberg, man, I can tell you one thing, man. I can't. You know, I'm getting a little pissed off at YouTube sometimes, but I can tell you one thing. One person I really can't stand is Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, Susan don't make anywhere near as much money as Mark, and she shares the wealth. So, not. I mean, I like to have more money, but but Mark, he doesn't do anything for anybody. Nothing. He grabs the whole damn thing. That's why I'm not on. That's why I say to hell with Facebook. Can't stand that damn place, man. Forget about it. But as of probably pretty soon, you're not going to see any ads on this American Survival Russian channel, whatever the hell it is. I don't put too much on here, but this is most people on YouTube are a bunch of freaking clickbait millennials or something, so they don't look at the stuff I put out on this thing. I mean, sometimes I put out some good stuff, sometimes I don't, but usually I put out something that most people aren't. It's usually MacGyver tips, and I'm like, yeah. So I ain't gonna make nothing off this anyway. But I'm just putting this out here because I want the United States and Russians to get along really good, and I know what Soros is doing. He's trying to throw a monkey wrench in the whole 9 yards and get us to go to war. I'm trying to avoid that. I really am. It's asinine. Anyway, over and out.